All right, welcome back, everyone. This is kind of episode 2/3/life happened. My co-host got a little bit under the weather. That's just the way how the cookie crumbles, but we're back at it once again, talking some New Japan Pro Wrestling, some news, thoughts, opinions, and just a little synopsis of what's going on with the G1. So welcome once again, Dave. It's always great to have you back here on the program. And I'm glad that you're in good health and in good fighting spirit.
Well, thank you. I'm glad. Yeah, I don't got the COVID. Got my test results. Oh, Jesus, that didn't sound good. But I got my test results back today, and yeah, COVID-free. Had a little bit of a flu. Felt real bad for a few days, but I'm back, baby. I'm back. I've been watching. I've been keeping up with the G1. You know, what else am I gonna do? Staying in bed for 4 or 5 days straight, and let me tell you, it's been an exciting week and a half. Let me tell you that.
Needless to say, in your life and in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So with the stuff that's gone on, let's talk a little bit of news, and then we'll dive into the G1, and that'll pretty much wrap us up for this 3-week combo, if you will. So I think the first thing that happened right out of the gate is the announcement of New Japan's parent company, Bushiroad, ending the tenure of President Harold May. He is going to be technically releasing the reins of being the captain of the New Japan ship over to Abari starting October 23rd, so after the G1 tournament. So this will end his tenure of being president, CEO of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I have to say, I know there's a lot of skeptical tinfoil hat stuff going on where people thought they want to blame him on his way out, but I really try to focus on the positives of what Harold May did for New Japan. Him coming from a background of working for a major company such as Coca-Cola in Japan, and then taking on, being the captain of the ship and running it through some weird times. He ran it through the creation of the Elite's departure and had to transition into that. He created merchandising opportunities. Many of the teddy bears in your background were kind of his baby.
I mean, he was the merchandising king, and that's why I'm sad to see him go. Because first of all, isn't he like from the Netherlands or something? I mean,
yeah, he is.
This is a well-traveled man who understands, a world economy, and he was really well placed and really did well in his position in New Japan, and he really understood how to, and that's where I feel like he really grew the world market. Like, before like 2014, 2015, nobody really cared about New Japan really outside the hardcore wrestling fans. But then, New Japan around that time really kind of broke into what, the American independent scene. And that's when we saw, even though Bullet Club was around since 2013, that's when we really got exposed to them. We started seeing, guys like Prince Devitt, Shinsuke Nakamura, and all these others, that were in WWE, like, we're like, wait, where'd they come from? And we see the clips, are like, oh my goodness. People are just now starting to understand that New Japan is this amazing, amazing playground, this amazing dojo for these wrestlers.
Yeah, and I think that he was really starting the architecture of the Western expansion movement into the American market. And I know that they had some issues, but, nobody can plan for a pandemic. And he was really the steward of that ship as long as he could. It was kind of his idea to expand Wrestle Kingdom into 2 nights, which kept them kind of financially afloat during all this.
But didn't Harold say like a year ago, before this whole pandemic, he's like, I'm out of here. Like, in a month, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it wasn't a total shock to people that pay attention to New Japan news. He was going to leave at the end of the year. He was going to probably depart before Wrestle Kingdom. So this isn't that crazy. If maybe just with travel restrictions and time, they were just giving him an earlier send-off so he could get back to the Netherlands, keeping in mind he probably has to self-quarantine before he gets on a plane, and then he has to quarantine when he gets back to his home country. So they might have just been doing something as a nice little nod to him to let him get along his way.
Well, that and all of that, maybe he had to stay there because of the pandemic, but I felt like he wanted to stay there. He couldn't leave and leave them in this position.
And that was kind of his message. Like, he posted a blog post. He was very apologetic to the point, and you could tell that he adapted himself to the Japanese business acumen, that he didn't want to be a distraction during the light of the G1 tournament. He wanted to be the focal point for New Japan fans at the time. So he was just really apologetic. He just went, hey, it's just business. It's a bad time, but it's going to happen. And I thank the New Japan fans, for supporting us. And he even helped a lot of the internal roster talent cultivate their own ideas. He was the guy that gave the blessing on high to the Bullet Club to do the Bullet Club block party.
Oh yeah, and that's why, like, I'm gonna sad to see him go, but I don't think Abari's gonna do that bad. I mean, first of all, like, I've seen Japanese leadership in other companies. They haven't done that bad, and but I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think we should move on from this subject.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of tinfoil hat going on with it, so we're just going to skip past that.
We can't even get into all the tinfoil hat stuff.
There's too much Reynolds rap being tossed around in other wrestling promotions that's going on. So needless to say, we'll jump on to the next thing. And the bigger announcement was post G1. We are going to kind of have this weird hybrid tournament, kind of following suit how the G1 worked, where we have the A block one night and we have the B block one night, and neither two shall intertwine. We're going to get that with World Tag League and the Best of the Super Juniors starting mid-November, ending right before the holiday break in December. It's another one of these weird things where, New Japan's just kind of rolling with the punches that the pandemic has presented them. And I think that we're getting better products for it. A lot of people who are watching the G1 is like, we don't have the multiple man tag matches. We're getting rid of the fluff and we're getting right to the matches.
They literally having to condense everything. It's like I hate to bring up a different sport, but it's like literally like baseball this season, a 62-game season. The Marlins made the playoffs. What? Anything can happen. This is just, fun, action-packed. Yes. Everything you want to see. None of the fluff. 162 games. Yeah, there's probably like 80 games you don't want to see. But, and that's why, these tournaments are focus driven. And I cannot wait to see the Super Juniors. The World Tag League is what I really look forward to.
It's just kind of this weird marriage because you're having juniors and heavyweights on alternating nights, and they're literally just like getting to a photo finish to the end of the year before Wrestle Kingdom.
But don't you think, like, I hate to use this term if it's inappropriate, but orgasmic, like, woo!
Well, I mean, they're hitting all their tentpole events. They're not skipping anything.
Exactly. Like, this is exactly what, like, okay, I just saw some heavyweights. Next night I'm gonna see some cruiserweights, baby. Like, I think they're gonna go on this great, like, perfect wave, I feel.
Yeah, and it's kind of like this self-proposed OCD checklist where they're like, okay, we got the New Japan Cup off the list. We got a summer event off the list. We got the G1 off the list, and now we're gonna get World Tag League and the Super Juniors. Okay, we can have a Wrestle Kingdom now because we've met the criteria in our own mind to have these events moving forward.
So here's the only thing. Now that I'm really thinking about it, so that means even though there was the King of Pro Wrestling BS already, they always had those shows. So that those shows are gone this year,
right?
Because they have to. And also the destruction shows, like Destruction and Beppu and stuff.
Really,
like
the only thing that we're gonna get between G1 and this super tour is a small little Power Struggle tour.
Ooh, okay.
So it's like a little micro tour. Like you'll blink and you'll miss it.
I was hoping maybe Destruction and Beppu, Destruction and Kogashima.
So they're deciding to go with Power Struggle as the name. It's gonna be like maybe 7 or 9 days, and then they're going to move right into the Super Juniors. So that's kind of, so we're getting everything as a New Japan fan. More importantly, if this is your first time watching, you're literally getting all their tentpole events in a really short amount of time. So it's a great opportunity to really get back up to speed with New Japan. Battle of the Super Juniors is one of those great tournaments. Their tag league, they really get to let each of their facets of their company shine throughout these individual tournaments. So I think that's great.
not only that, but if there's a lot of people who are lazy wrestling fans who don't like to watch wrestling, if they don't know the people. And so, if you just get the best matches out of everything without the fluff, it's like, hey, just watch this. They're all main events. Just pick any one of them and just watch it. Just give it the 20 minutes.
And then, usually we would have to wait throughout the entire course of a year. So you're getting it in a 4-month stint. So, this is really this is the time. Like, if you were on the fence with New Japan, this is really the time to pick a side, hop on it, take a look at it, see the lay of the land, get the faction that you like, find the superstars and wrestlers that you like, and then just run with it. Because you're going into the biggest event of their year come January, which is Wrestle Kingdom.
Not only that, but now we need to figure out who's going to Wrestle Kingdom. Let's talk about a little G1, baby.
Exactly. So we're kind of, when we're filming this is Thursday, October 8th. So we still have 2 more weeks technically into week 3. So where we stand we got Saturday and Sunday with events. So we kind of had this little bit of this eye of the storm at a moment. So we figured this was probably the most opportune time to get back everybody up to speed. So we got the A block, we got the B block. Let's talk about the A block. Right now, standing with the point tallies, we have a 4-way tie between Kota Ibushi, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, and Jay White. They're all sitting at 8 points with a couple other people literally biting at their heels with 6 points. So the A block is really having a photo finish right now because it's going to be whoever gets to the end.
Yeah, I look at A block is exciting as hell right now. The A block is the AL East in baseball. It is just exciting. It is nail biting. First of all, I'm surprised how good Minoru Suzuki's been doing in the A block. First of all, I know he's not going to win it, but I'm glad they're not burying him. But Yujiro, good God.
More like Yuja Zero.
Don't get me wrong, I enjoy him, but it's like I feel like Peter Bunny was his lucky rabbit's foot, if you know what I'm saying.
Dude, and then he's just getting buried. What was it? I think he wrestled Goto, and Goto was just talking trash on him at the end. He's like, the only thing you got going for you is your entrance song and your ability to interfere with matches. And that was his exit interview. And I was like, damn, that's cold-blooded. Really, the only thing at this point that Yujiro could do is he does have a match with Jay White. And a lot of people are starting to see that kind of schism in Bullet Club between who's backing Evil and who's backing Jay. And, Jay's like, if Yujiro knows what's good for him, he'll let me win. And then Evil's presenting kind of, almost proposing that not everybody's following you in Bullet Club. So Yujiro could be that surprise 2 points that could knock Jay out.
I think I proposed this in the last video, but once again, if Jay could give Yujiro the finger poke of doom, just, a nod to something that is non-New Japan, because that's Gaijin stuff. That's Jay White, baby. I'm Kevin Nash. I'm, exactly maybe even two, sweet him in the chest and knock him down. And
just hold the 2
3.
sweet on top of his chest as he gets the 3 count.
Yes. That would be amazing. But that would show Yujiro's allegiance to Jay, because even though Evil and Jay have just had this one little kind of a tissy fight, I feel like people need to start taking sides.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't last as long as the craziness of the Elite versus BC versus the BCOGs versus the Golden Elite versus the Aqua Teal Elite.
No, a lot of people are talking about BC Japan and BC OGs, and I'm like, no. Let's not do NWO again. If Evil leaves, how about he makes a new faction? How about?
And that's where I hope they're going with it. There's a lot of guys that could transition into a faction created by Evil that would be interesting, and it would be an original form of storytelling just to let it happen organically and let that come out of it.
Yeah, like almost New Japan's form of the Ministry or something.
Yeah, I mean, whatever way they want to spin it. I mean, they've implied that even Kota Ibushi starting to show kind of that he literally has this God complex, that he keeps calling himself God, that he's above everybody. And I mean, he's doing what he can to dominate a lot of stuff, but it's just getting crazy. So I think that they're planting the seeds for it. I don't know if it's going to happen immediately, but I could see Jay casting Evil out of Bullet Club and then seeing that kind of develop throughout the course of next year.
Okay, but real quick, let's go back to the standings of A block before we can even go back to B block real quick. Who do you think is coming out of A block right now? I'm still sticking with my boy Will.
I just think, in New Japan fashion, he just got back. So I don't know if they're necessarily going to award it to Will at this point. I almost think that with the current standings, and I'm not even going to toot the horn of thinking that it's going to be Jay. I really think looking at this list, it's going to either be Kota Ibushi or it's going to be Okada.
It better not be either because, I mean, first of all, Okada, just stop winning. Go back to having red hair and floating balloons for a couple of years, please. And then Ibushi, he just won. He won what, like a year or two ago?
Well, here's more of my future casting, because I think that's going to be the two from the A block. I don't think that if those guys win it, they're winning the A block.
Well, here's the thing: is okay. Let's go to B block then. Let's go to B block.
Okay, those are at least my two for the A. So with the B standings at the moment, your boy Naito, man, he is looking down upon everybody else from his 10-point mountain right now. The only other person that is barely nipping at his heels is Evil with 8 points. And he's literally done everything from lie, cheat, and steal to get those 8 points any way possible with his boy Dick Togo.
Dick to go.
Yep. And then everybody else is sitting kind of at the 6-point mark. And that's like literally 5 guys between Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, Goto, Yano, Sonata, and Sabre.
No, and I'm surprised Sabre and Sonata haven't done better.
Well, I think they're trying to build Sonata up because he's starting to get on this winning streak where sometimes, New Japan fashion, he might finish actually pretty strong. So that's one of my guys for the B block.
Isn't Sonata still a freelancer? Yeah, that's my number one reason he ain't doing nothing in this tournament. He might do okay.
And then
he's Okada before, but you know what? No, he's not winning this G1.
And then the ultimate Hail Mary pass is Naito's just blazing a trail. Like they could literally have him be the first dual champ to win the G1.
I mean, like that's kind of where that's like I didn't have a person coming out of B block. I literally said the last person was going to be Naito. I'm not going to give him that after what they've given him already. But it's like maybe he's got them in the palm of their hands. Maybe they see like look at if you look at the New Japan store, like look at all the hot selling stuff. It's all Naito or LIJ stuff. He makes New Japan all the money.
Yeah, and his love of baseball and those affiliations that he has with Japanese sports, his collaborations with the Carp team and doing that kind of merchandise.
I just bought a new Naito X Carp sweatshirt from the New Japan store like 3 days ago.
And it kind of leads into what we were talking about in the last episode, that realistically, Naito looks at both those belts separately. So if he was to win it, hypothetically, and win the G1, he could open challenge whoever he wanted for each belt respectively.
Exactly.
And that's just natural storytelling. You don't have to try to develop it with any challenge. You go, okay, Evil, you can wrestle me for the Intercontinental belt, and I'll pick Jay White for the heavyweight belt.
Like, you think he would pick these like big hitters, or you think he would be like, all right, Yano, you can go for the heavyweight. YOSHI-HASHI, you can go for the Intercontinental.
Well, I think him and Evil still got a storyline to tell that would be great on a Wrestle Kingdom level stage for at least one of the two matches.
I got a proposal. How
Shoot.
about Evil? I'll fight for you for the Intercontinental, and if you win it, you can fight me for the heavyweight. But if you don't win it, this guy gets the heavyweight shot.
Which that guy knocking on the door could easily be Sonata.
But you think they would give an opportunity back to Evil to where he could possibly win both belts back again? I mean,
I think it honestly, in my mind, if I'm fantasy booking, I'm doing one belt and one belt, not both belts. So Evil gets close in the B block, but he misses the mark. So Naito wins it all, takes it all, and goes, you know what? I'm going to prove that I'm the better guy. I'll wrestle you for the IC belt. And whoever got close in the A block, whoever was the finalist in the A block, you get to wrestle me for the heavyweight belt. So that way, you're already stacking the card for Wrestle Kingdom if it's one night where you have the IC belt near the end, giving him a break with a couple matches in between, and then coming back to wrestle for the heavyweight belt. So we pretty much covered a lot of ground. We covered some ideas. We fantasy booked. We discussed some news for right now for everything that's going on in New Japan. So that kind of wraps up week 2/3 in a nutshell. We will be back probably maybe before the final or after the final, kind of just, fan couch quarterback, if you will, moving forward into Wrestle Kingdom. But as always, thank you, Dave, for your time. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you like these videos, please share, like, and subscribe. We want to keep the conversation going. New Japan Pro Wrestling's been around since 1973, and it's been around for a reason. It has passed the test of time. It has long existed before the era of the McMahons, the Helmsleys, and everybody in between. They're a quality product that needs to give that respect and accolades, and the only way we're going to do it is by keeping them in the conversation and staying relevant. Remember, it is always better to have quality wrestling over quantity. Yes, McDonald's has served 2 billion people, but at the end of the day, let's get that G1 steak and go have a good time.
Woo! I love how you say that. Thank you for having me. Thank you for listening, people. Like